International Judge the Quran Day. Yes, we are going to do it.
Having come 4 times previous, we kind of had the drill down pretty good. His timing couldn't have been any worse. It was MEEP testing day in the city of Dearborn. That's the state certification and accreditation for students in our school district. So there was no way that our children couldn't go to school that day. So that was the public safety concern.
We were afraid that this could turn into, like a circus atmosphere. And so we were certainly concerned about it, concerned about the impact it would have on our instructional day, and quite frankly concerned about the community and its reaction to having him in town.
He came for disorder and disharmony and to spread hate, and that has no place in this community. Life is difficult enough.
The radical pastor Terry Jones gained international attention for burning the Koran, the central religious text of Islam. When outsiders try to disrupt a community, action must take place. Through community policing and collaboration between the city, school system, religious leaders, and private business, this is the story of how the city of Dearborn, Michigan dealt with a potential problem. Dearborn is the 8th largest city in Michigan with a population just shy of 100,000. Dearborn was the home of Henry Ford and is today the world headquarters of the Ford Motor Company. Michigan holds the largest and still growing Muslim population in the United States and the 2nd largest Arab population outside of the Middle East.
Here in southeastern Michigan, we have 380,000 Arab Americans. They came here for the same reasons. They're 2nd and 3rd generation.
We had a scheduled visit from Mr. Terry Jones because he wanted to protest some of the school's disciplinary actions and things that they perceived weren't being done properly here.
We had Ford Motor Company as our private-public sector partner, and we had to work very closely with the school board and the superintendent of schools to ensure that their needs were being met that day.
Working with Chief Haddad and the mayor and other law enforcement agencies, we came up with a game plan both for inside the building and outside the building. And also an important part of the plan was communicating to the community, what was taking place.
We knew that Mr. Jones would want in his video clips, he would want the school sign, he'd want their nice campus, and that's what he would be attracted to, because really all he wants is video clips in order to post onto his internet site. So we chose this area, and then logistically, it actually worked out perfect for us because there's a backside of the school off of Pelham Road where you can have egress and entrance to and from the school here for the school buses and the students, and we just made sure that all the students that day came in and out those back doors. And that way they could go about their business. The only disruption to them was the entrance they walked into the school that day. We also had the partnership with Ford Motor Company over here where they allowed us, because of our relationship with them, to have all of our contingency plans back over on their private property with all of our command center and everything, and it was completely not visible to anybody else.
In Dearborn, planning and careful community outreach started years before the potentially disruptive event, including increasing public recognition and visibility of initiatives to counter violent extremism, using stakeholders as liaisons between law enforcement and their community, utilizing all partnerships to counter violent extremism by creating counter-narratives and demonstrating resilience.
The number one thing is trust. It doesn't happen at the time of a single incident. It has to happen prior to an incident. And we have dialogue. We talk about what's going on, what are the challenges, what are the fears, and it's an open dialogue. And that's where you build that trust, because now you're sitting together, you're talking about real issues, and you're being as open and honest as you can be under the law.
Dearborn Police have reached out to different facets of the community. That partnership helps the community have a resource when needed. It's not a 911 operator. It is a person that you know and trust.
We had tons of meetings. We went out to the communities, we went out to the different PTAs, we went to the schools, we got our civil rights organizations behind it, we went out to the faith-based communities, and by that time we developed enough trust where they understood it was only a public safety issue with us. We're not trying to stifle anybody's First Amendment rights. We're not trying to take sides with the message or the messenger. And by that time, with the mayor's assistance, we had quite a bit of trust built into the community.
I'm Pastor Deborah Smith-Satterwhite, pastor of New St. John AME Church in Dearborn, the first AME church in Dearborn.
Kazim Ali, I'm the executive director of the Islamic Center of America in Dearborn.
Deacon Dave Kerrigan at Sacred Heart Catholic Church.
David Nelson, I'm Rabbi Emeritus of the House of Peace congregation called Beth Shalom in Oak Park.
My name is Rani Abdulmasi. I'm the pastor of Mother of the Savior Church. We are an Arabic Christian church, and we are the only Arabic-speaking Christian church in the city of Dearborn.
To have that opportunity, especially here, and to have law enforcement agencies like the Dearborn Police Department or Chief Haddad intentionally reaching out to faith leaders and saying, come meet in our office, come, let's talk about this, really helps to open those doors of communication.
We came together, we sat down, we discussed issues, discussed how to answer these issues. And everyone put a proposal. And the Dearborn Police was involved from A to Z in all of these things.
Thank God we have a tremendous police force, and they deal with it very beautifully. And the clergy, and that involves all the faiths, in their own way, are supportive of the police force and their communities. We encourage them to trust the police and to work with the police.
To embrace the diversity in our community can give us a richness to celebrate the diversity and the culture, but also can give us empowerment to be able to handle any threat that can come towards this community.
And when you get a crisis like this or a situation threatening, the community pulls together. They look for their immediate leaders, who most part are clergymen, and their political leaders, to all be working together with one voice and one attitude.
I think that we all just need to work on building relationships, on promoting understanding, about being clear about who we are, whether we're Christians or Muslims or Jews or whatever religious tradition, that we are all called to be loving. One of the things that we share is the golden rule. And so we're all called to just treat others as we would like to be treated ourselves.
As a result of long-standing partnerships with the community, the Dearborn Police Department was able to counter a potentially volatile situation and ensure that public safety remained the priority.
You know, if you plan for something properly and you actually can rely on all the entities that are involved and your relationships that you've forged through the years, I knew that we were going to be successful, and at the end of the day, it was pretty nice that we were able to turn what could have been an event into truly a non-event. And our kids got to learn what they needed to learn that day.
Dearborn Police Department, I give them a lot of credit. First and foremost, they understand the community. They understand all the segments. And they've been in many situations before. And they are well-trained, well-prepared, and they respond positively.
Number one is communication. You have to know what's going on. You can't keep your head in the sand as a clergyman.
Of all the things that Terry Jones did, I think that was one of the best things he did for our region, is he got the message through to everybody that as far as every one of the religions were concerned, all faiths are legitimate, all faiths are recognized. And to me, that was very helpful.
I think you have to have good relationships with law enforcement and the school district before any incident occurs. That's number one. Number two, I think law enforcement needs to be in the schools on a regular basis, building relationships with students, and that heads off a lot of problems in the community just because the police are in the buildings and building those relationships with students. Number three, communications is important with parents.
You need to have your community partners in place before something big happens. And you need to listen to them, and you need to make sure that everybody in your organization has buy-in and understands what the goals are. And when you treat people with respect and you listen, you have a lot more to gain than to be autocratic and, responsive to a call when somebody's a victim. I think that if you work with the community, to keep it safe. You'll be really surprised and pleased with the results.